Earth is an incredible artist, creating magnificent sculptures that no technology can match. Across every continent, there are still wild, untouched, and surreal lands that hold stories millions of years old. From endless savannas full of wildlife, rugged canyons like deadly mazes, to isolated islands that look prehistoric. Each place shows the incredible power of nature when it's free to shape the world in its own way. Today, we're starting a special journey, an expedition through destinations that seem like they shouldn't exist. Let's explore the wildest places on Earth that look unreal. This is Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat, located on the Andes Plateau in Bolivia. It's so vast that 150 countries could fit inside. When you stand here, you'll see it's unlike any other place on Earth. During the day, the salt reflects a light so blindingly bright you have to squint, while at night, the cold wind sweeps across with nothing to stop it. No trees, no shade, no trace of humans, just an endless space that swallows all sense of direction. The rainy season turns the entire surface into a giant mirror, blurring the line between sky and earth. You don't know if you're standing or floating in the void, a surreal feeling like a scene from Star Wars. Farther to the southwest is the Red Lagoon, Laguna Colorada, where flamingos and llamas survive in a harsh environment. It's a place that makes you wonder, is what I'm seeing even real? A red dirt road, no signs, no life, and in the middle of that emptiness, you see rows of giant trees about 30 meters tall, with trunks as wide as a vase and branches pointing up at the sky like roots. This is the Avenue of the Baobabs, about 30 kilometers long in western Madagascar. The trees you're looking at have been standing here for over 800 years. They are an endemic baobab species, capable of storing water to survive the harsh dry season. Their strange shape has earned them the name upside-down tree. But your journey doesn't stop there. After a day on a bumpy road, you stand before Tsingy Rouge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, 200-million-year-old maze of limestone sharp as knives. You have to wear a safety harness, your heart pounding from the sway of the flimsy suspension bridge over the cliffs. In the midst of this scene, lemurs suddenly appear, a rare moment of life in this harsh landscape. If you're looking for a truly wild place, Madagascar is the choice for you. Looking down, you'll see a bright pink streak like bubble gum. That's Lake Hillier on Middle Island in the Richat Archipelago, recognized as one of Australia's most important wilderness areas. Because of its extremely isolated and remote location, surrounded by sand dunes and dense forests. This is one of the least studied pink lakes in the world, which helps it maintain its rare, pristine condition. The lake has extremely high salinity, 10 times that of the ocean, creating a unique ecosystem that not every species can adapt to. The only way to see it is by flying overhead, where you can clearly see the contrast between the pink of the lake, the dark green of the vegetation, and the surrounding ocean. Thanks to the establishment of the Richat Archipelago Nature Reserve in 2012, Lake Hillier is now protected from negative human impacts. Pamukkale, which means Cotton Castle in Turkish, is a natural site in Denizli in southwestern Turkey. This snow-white travertine formation stretches about 2,700 meters long, 600 meters wide, and up to 160 meters high. Water from the mountaintop flows down through turquoise, terraced thermal pools, and the entire mountainside is literally painted white by nature. The hot springs at Pamukkale, with temperatures ranging from 35 to 100 degrees Celsius, have been used as a natural spa since the 2nd century BCE. However, due to the impact of tourism, many of the most beautiful terraces have been closed for preservation. When you visit Pamukkale, you can only walk barefoot and wade in the artificial pools along the main path. The purpose of this rule is to preserve the landscape in its original, pure state. Notably, Pamukkale is located in one of the world's most seismically active regions, which once swallowed the mighty civilization of Hierapolis. You're stepping into Antelope Canyon, a pristine natural world in the middle of the Arizona desert. Before you are winding red sandstone walls, making every step feel like you're discovering a hidden treasure. Antelope Canyon is a corridor of rock carved by water over millions of years. Over time, it gradually narrowed into dark slot canyons. From Lake Powell, you can kayak through the narrowing waterways to reach the canyon entrance. In a space filled with the smell of sulfur and accumulated debris, you have to hug the canyon walls to explore the winding maze inside. Light filters through the narrow cracks above, illuminating the wavy rock walls with brilliant shades of red, yellow, orange, and purple, carved with ancient stories. The rainy season turns the entire canyon into an underground river, highlighting just how wild this place is. In the middle of a harsh desert, nature has created a masterpiece that can only be reached through narrow and challenging passages. What about you? Do you dare to venture into this wild land? Marble caves are located in the Asin region, one of the most remote areas of Chile. To get here, you have to travel over rough dirt roads and take a boat across a lake. Inside, there are absolutely no walkways, bridges, or man-made infrastructure, which has kept the marble structures, formed over 6,000 years, perfectly preserved and wild. The turquoise water has eroded the marble blocks, creating a maze of caves, pillars, and tunnels with smooth, glossy walls and patterns. The colors and shapes of the caves are constantly changing and unpredictable, depending on the water level and seasonal light. Marble caves have a small entrance and a low roof, so only small boats can go inside, which helps control tourism. You are also not allowed to touch or take any stones to keep the caves in their natural condition. Lençóis Maranhenses is a desert oasis in northeastern Brazil. More than half of its area is white sand dunes, interspersed with freshwater lagoons, creating a rare, wild landscape at the intersection of three major Brazilian ecosystems. The desert winds howl relentlessly, eroding and reshaping dunes up to 40 meters high, turning the entire place into a harsh maze. Moving alone through this constantly shifting and unpredictable terrain is quite risky. Surrounding the dunes are mangrove forests and rivers, creating a natural barrier that separates the area from the outside world. Only special four-wheel drive vehicles are allowed, and they can only go to limited points at the edge. During the rainy season, the desert fills with freshwater lagoons, perfect for swimming and taking pictures. In the dry season, the water recedes, revealing a more significantly arid landscape. No other wonder on Earth erases and recreates itself in an annual cycle like this. Hidden beneath Hawaii's spectacular beauty is a fiery, beating heart. Kilauea Volcano is one of the most intense and unstable hotspots on Earth, a place where nature is always in a state of eruption. When you look up at the volcano's summit, you can easily see a giant column of steam and gas, rising, shooting thousands of feet into the air. The intense heat is almost palpable. You can feel it on your skin. Kilauea is constantly changing. In just a few days, the entire landscape can look completely different. As you move along the mountainside, you witness the crater seething. Molten rock rises from below Kilauea's summit and flows through lava tubes, pouring a blazing red-hot stream of lava into the Pacific Ocean. In the distance, the unique Kilauea Iki pit craters, which formed in just 1 hour, are visible. Kilauea operates beyond human control. No topsoil, no vegetation, only lava. But without the volcano, the beautiful islands of Hawaii would not exist. Do you want to experience standing on Europe's tallest active volcano? Welcome to Mount Etna, on the island of Sicily, Italy. The journey begins with a cable car ride up the mountainside. Then you walk on a layer of black volcanic ash formed from eruptions 20 years ago. Occasionally, plumes of smoke rise from the crater and dissolve into the cold air. The surrounding landscape is both majestic and wild. The vegetation here is also incredibly unique, completely separate from the Mediterranean flora below. New eruptions can wipe out old trails in just a few hours. This constant change is the biggest natural barrier that prevents humans from building any permanent structures in the upper regions. The Christmas Eve eruption was a major event when the northeast crater became active again after being dormant for 28 years. Lava spewed up to 400 to 500 meters high, leading to tighter access regulations for the crater area. Located on the divergent boundary between the North American and Eurasian plates, Fagradalsfjall in Iceland was formed during the last ice age and is predicted to potentially develop into a shield volcano. Crossing the empty lava field, climbing a slope against strong winds, and in absolute solitude, you'll see a fierce beauty. A waterfall of red-hot fire, 1,000 degrees Celsius, flows and weaves through dark, rugged blocks of black magma. The lava can also damage residential, forcing people in nearby areas to evacuate quickly. When it flows through, it wipes out almost everything, leaving a rough, primeval landscape. You are not allowed to walk on lava flows because the sharp surface can suddenly break and cause serious burns. Fagradalsfjall had been dormant for about 6,000 years before suddenly awakening in 2021 to create the first eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula. The eruption is considered unlike any other volcano observed in Iceland to date. A wooden platform, a few feet above the water, with 1,000-pound brown bears waiting for salmon below. That's the experience at Katmai National Park in Alaska, a 16,564 square kilometer wilderness with 14 volcanoes still quietly active beneath your feet. You can't drive here. Only boats or seaplanes are allowed, making Katmai one of the most hard-to-reach national parks in the United States. Katmai has a beauty like a piece of Mars fell to Earth. It's an unusual brown-gray expanse in the middle of Alaska's green forests, dotted with glacial lakes and rivers winding like the veins of a leaf, with a gray-white valley stretching through its center. Deeper in, beneath your feet, is the deep valley of 10,000 Smokes, with almost no grass to be seen. The entire area is buried under a layer of ash hundreds of meters thick, while from the ground, tens of thousands of sulfuric smoke columns continuously erupt. Here, there are no barriers or any safety limits. It's just you in the middle of wild and fierce nature. Dead Vlei is a white clay pan located in the Namib Desert, surrounded by enormous red dunes that are about 300 to 400 meters high, like the Empire State Building. Dead Vlei truly lives up to its name, Dead Marsh. Sand-laden winds whistle continuously in the scorching desert heat. The ground is cracked, and almost no plant life can survive for long. All around you are the black skeletons of acacia trees, scorched dry by the sun. They look like hands reaching up from the earth, enough to awaken a deep, primal fear inside you. This place was once a lush oasis, but when the river disappeared, life gradually faded, leaving behind a surreal painting in the heart of the desert. An important note for you: there are no services nearby, and temperatures can exceed an extremely harsh 40 degrees Celsius. You must be well equipped and leave before sunset. The Taklamakan Desert is the second largest shifting sand desert in the world, located in the Xinjiang region and surrounded by 3 massive mountain ranges. In the local language, its name carries a haunting meaning. You can go in, but you can't come out. In front of you is an endless sea of sand with dunes casting sharp, knife-like shadows. They divide the landscape into 2 opposite sides, one side a glaring light, the other a darkness. Unlike other deserts, the entire surface of the sand here is constantly moving and swallowing any tracks in its path for centuries. This desert was a graveyard for explorers along the ancient Silk Road, swallowing both caravans and dreams. Even today, danger is always lurking as sandstorms can strike at any time. However, China has made efforts to create a 3,000-kilometer green wall to turn this harsh wilderness into a land of life. You can visit this desert by traveling the Tarim Desert Highway through the heart of the Sand Sea. Located in a nearly empty desert region in northern Mauritania, the Eye of the Sahara, officially known as the Richat Structure, has captured the interest of many travelers with its perfect concentric circles. Its 40-kilometer diameter and complete isolation by shifting sand seas and desert boulders have created a natural barrier to the outside. Therefore, you can only fully appreciate this wonder from above. Standing here, you are surrounded by scattered sandstone rocks and endless open space. There is no shade and almost no life, only wind, sand, and signs of time everywhere. Getting to the Richat Structure is quite complicated because you need a Mauritanian visa, a sponsor, and a detailed travel plan due to its extremely remote location. Although it's less affected by humans, the process of desertification could still gradually cover the terrain and cause the Eye of the Sahara to shrink over time. The Bungle Bungles are the hidden gem of Western Australia, famous for their massive sandstone formations. This is considered a one-of-a-kind natural wonder of the world. Before you now are beehive-shaped rock domes up to 250 meters high, with alternating stripes of burnt orange and dark gray. It is this contrast that creates an appearance that looks hand-painted by nature. Inside the Bungle Bungles is a system of narrow, deep gorges. The echoing sounds make you feel like you're standing in a giant natural cathedral in the middle of the desert. The gorges provide shelter for many native birds and small endemic animals. On the cliff walls, you'll see many carvings and paintings by Aboriginal people, showing their deep spiritual connection to the land. Thanks to its remote location and difficult access road, the Bungle Bungles have maintained their pristine sandstone landscape, becoming a rare geological wonder not heavily impacted by humans. Just as dawn breaks, you're in the middle of the endless grasslands of the Serengeti, 30,000 square kilometers stretching as far as the eye can see. The light bathes everything in gold, but that beauty is just the surface of a harsh, wild world. Hold on tight to your seat and hold your breath as the vehicle shakes violently on the rough terrain. The smell of fresh grass mixes with hot winds that whip straight into your face, while dust swirls up like a storm. Your heart pounds as you see a lion hidden in the tall grass shoot out like a flash. But the prey doesn't give up easily. They scatter, stampede, fight back fiercely, and sometimes their overwhelming numbers become the weapon that turns the tables. But the fight for survival doesn't stop there, because right ahead, a chaotic river crossing awaits you. Amid the sound of crashing water and thundering hooves, desperate cries ring out as crocodiles suddenly snatch their prey. In Serengeti National Park, that harsh law of nature has existed and repeated itself in a cycle for thousands of years. After learning about this captivating wilderness, do you still dare to set foot in this destination? The Okavango Delta is a living entity in the middle of the Kalahari Desert, where the Okavango River doesn't flow to the sea, but floods into the desert, turning over 22,000 square kilometers into an ever-changing maze of swamps, forests, and channels. This is the world's largest inland delta, and was also the 1,000th World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO. Over 100 rare animal species and thousands of plant species coexist in a space where everything competes fiercely for survival. Here, you'll witness dramatic chases between wild animals and enjoy the peaceful beauty of the wilderness. Along the way, you'll also have the chance to discover a rich variety of plants and observe the free life of wild animals. Besides the allure of the wild, you can also visit African tribes to learn about their unique local culture, or relax at the campsites and lodges scattered throughout the region. If you still think dragons only exist in legends, come to Komodo Island in Indonesia to see for yourself the mighty creature with origins close to ancient dinosaurs, still living there today. Standing on a steep cliff, before you is a blue sea with colorful coral reefs. The savanna stretches out below, so quiet you can hear every cicada and the wind through the trees. But that's just the surface. Deep inside is the territory of an ancient predator. You are admiring a mighty wild creature right near you. Giant dragons with skin like steel armor lie motionless, staring at you with cold yellow eyes. Their mouths are full of venom, ready to attack at any moment. Today, this island is not only an attractive tourist destination, but also plays an important role in global biodiversity conservation. You are stepping into the Amazon rainforest, one of the wildest places and the lungs of our planet. Spanning over 5.5 million square kilometers across 9 South American countries, this place contains a huge ecosystem with millions of plant and animal species, including many rare and endemic ones. An overwhelming feeling hits you as you face a pristine beauty like something out of Jurassic Park. The forest is so dense that when you look up, all you see is an endless green canopy of trees with almost no sunlight breaking through. The ecosystem has many layers and is full of life, from the ground to the tall treetops and the plants below. In the rainy season, the Amazon becomes a water maze, where you can even see pink dolphins swimming between tree trunks. Dangerous animals like jaguars, anacondas, and many venomous creatures make it very hard to survive if you get lost. The Amazon is also home to tribes that have lived alone for hundreds of years and is still very important for the planet. Located in the middle of Europe, at the crossroads of Italy and Austria, the Dolomites rise like a giant sculpture carved by nature. Sharp, gray-white peaks pierce the sky, interspersed with deep, narrow valleys, creating the dragon's spine of Europe, a symbol of majestic and proud beauty. Imagine you're climbing to the top of Tresim, surrounded by massive towering rock formations and the sound of eagles echoing from afar. Below is the brilliant blue lake Karetsa, surrounded by forests and empty grasslands. The risk of rockfalls is always with you on every part of the trail. The Dolomites were recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2009 for their unique landscape and special geological value. That beauty can only be fully appreciated when you see it with your own eyes, to feel how small you are in the midst of majestic nature. The next destination is Patagonia, a remote wilderness stretching across Chile and Argentina, home to nearly pristine landscapes. This is one of the last wild regions on Earth, shaped by wind, ice, and time. It is vast but very sparsely populated, with some areas having fewer than 2 people per square kilometer, and long roads with no towns or services. You walk among huge granite rocks, rising into the sky like stone claws. Below you are wide plains, cold blue lakes, and old glaciers slowly shaping the land. The wind is very strong, pushing and forcing you forward. Every step is a challenge, and it can take hours to get anywhere. The weather is unpredictable. A clear blue sky in front of you can turn to rain or snow in just a few minutes. Wildlife survives in these harsh conditions, and here, humans are the ones who have to adapt, not the other way around. The Pamir Plateau, the roof of the world, is located in the most remote and isolated region of Central Asia. With an average elevation of over 4,000 meters, snow-capped mountains and vast grasslands stretch endlessly, making everything seem small beneath your feet. The deeper you go, the landscape narrows into tight valleys between giant rock ranges. The wind blows freely across the open land, bringing a chill even in the middle of summer. Settlements are small and isolated, and people have to live on dry, rocky slopes, adapting to harsh conditions. It not only has towering peaks, but also beautiful lakes and glaciers, and importantly, it's still untouched by tourists and modernity. The clear, salty lakes reflect the clouds more beautifully than any other place you've been. With its wild and majestic natural scenery, this place has become one of the ideal destinations for those who love adventure travel. Antarctica is where Earth reaches its natural extremes, the coldest, driest, windiest, and highest continent. Temperatures have dropped to about -89 degrees Celsius, and snow can appear even in summer. Even though it is covered in ice, the interior gets almost no rain or new snow, making it the largest desert on Earth. Did you know? The ice here holds about 70% of the world's fresh water, and if it melts, global sea levels would rise a lot. You sit on a ship sailing between icebergs in the cold and winds, where all sound seems to be swept away. On the ice, flocks of penguins follow one another in a line, while in the deep water is a pristine world of seals and whales. Antarctica is the only continent in the world with no permanent residents. Only a few experts come here to work for short periods. It is this absolute wilderness and isolation that has kept this frozen land almost perfectly intact for millions of years. A wooden bridge hangs, suspended above jagged limestone pinnacles, sharp as spears pointing to the sky. You'll understand why the locals call this place Tsingy, which means where one cannot walk in Malagasy. Tsingy was formed from uplifted limestone that was then eroded by acid rain over millions of years. The reserve covers nearly 600 square kilometers, with rock spires up to 70 meters high, creating a treacherous and dangerous maze. The razor-sharp rocks make climbing nearly impossible. One wrong step could lead to a fall into a giant natural spike trap. Every step is a battle between reason and the feeling of free falling, making even the bravest people break a sweat. Narrow, damp canyons are home to many lemurs, amphibians, insects, and unique plants. They use the rock towers like highways to move around and avoid predators. The journey to explore Tsingy remains a test of courage, persistence, and the ability to stand firm in the face of wild beauty. There is a completely different world in the Galapagos Islands. Galapagos is both the name of the archipelago and Ecuador's first national park. This is a chain of islands isolated from the world, with bizarre creatures. The Galapagos is a pure animal paradise with many rare marine species, and it was also the inspiration for Darwin's theory of evolution. Before you is a prehistoric-looking world in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Black equatorial penguins, marine iguanas, lounging on white sand beaches, and giant tortoises living in lush green forests. You can also spot the blue-footed boobies, a signature bird of these islands, on the rocky shores. It is also known for its many active volcanoes. Each island has a different landscape. Some are covered in thick forests with very tall old trees, while others look like huge rock shapes. The Galapagos Islands have changed how we understand life on Earth. Everything here is a work of nature. The Raja Ampat Islands, consisting of over 1,500 islands off the coast of West Papua, are a must-see destination when visiting Indonesia. The four main islands are Masul, Salawati, Batanta, and Waigeo, each with its own unique character. Here, the ocean and sky meet among lush green limestone karsts rising from the turquoise water. Forests grow right to the water's edge, and vegetation thrives just beneath the surface. Despite its beauty, Raja Ampat remains remote and untouched because of its far location. Under the sea are many bright coral reefs, and about 70% of the world's reefs are found here. While diving, if you are lucky, you may see dolphins or sea turtles. On land, there are also many rich rainforests for you trekking. Birds flying high in the sky add a peaceful feeling. You could say that all of nature's wonders are found on this island. Nature always bestows priceless creations upon us, and the Vatnajökull Ice Cave in the Svinafellsjökull region of Iceland is one such treasure. Stepping into the 100-meter ice cave, you feel like entered a place where time stands still. Soaring ice arches, wavy patterns, and a deep blue hue cover the cave walls. The special structure of the ice above absorbs almost all light except blue, giving the cave its beautiful, glowing color. The ice in this cave melts in the summer and refreezes in the winter, so the shape of the Vatnajökull cave is different every year. You can only set foot here in the winter when the ice is temporarily stable enough. This terrain is full of deep crevasses and slippery surfaces. You'll hear cracking sounds as you move. The water here is so clear and clean that you can drink it right on the spot. The Aurora Borealis, one of the wildest and most surreal phenomena you'd want to see on Earth. The name Aurora Borealis was given by Galileo in 1619, when he mistakenly thought it was reflected sunlight. But in reality, it's massive streams of energy colliding with the atmosphere, creating a light storm in the sky. In the bone-chilling cold, you look up at the deep night sky, and ribbons of green, purple, and red aurora stretch across the air, moving in a magical dance that consumes the entire space around you. Adrenaline rushes, and all you can do is hold your breath and whisper, "Wow." What makes the aurora special is that you can't book a time to see it. Places like Alaska, Canada, Norway, or Finland are some of the best chances to see it clearly. And when the sky lights up, you understand why people travel so far just to see it once. A huge canyon in Arizona stretches about 277 miles long and over a mile deep, like a massive cut in the earth. Words like huge and breathtaking are what you may say when you arrive at this wild place. Shaped by the Colorado River over nearly 2 billion years, Grand Canyon shows layers of rock stacked like a colorful ancient history book. From the south rim, you step to the edge and face a space so vast your mind can hardly take it in. All around you, people from all over the world stand silently in awe. At about 1,000 feet high, you are surrounded by pine forests, and deep silence. After a short walk, you stand right at the edge with nothing between you and the drop, only you between sky and earth. Your heart beating faster. Below, the Colorado River curves like a giant ribbon around the canyon floor. Sunlight covers the sandstone walls, reflecting again and again, turning the scene into a living painting in the wild nature. If there's one place in the world that will leave you speechless before the grandeur of nature, it's Niagara Falls, a wonder located on the border between the US and Canada. The roaring white water and the echoing sound make your sight, hearing, and sense of touch all tremble. Every year, more than 3,000 tons of water crash down from a height of 50 meters, creating a wild force that even the best swimmers would be completely powerless against. The roar of the falls is like thunder, and a thick mist covers where you stand, showing the absolute power of nature. Niagara Falls is constantly changing its own shape. The natural erosion process causes the falls to recede upstream, and no human plan can stop it. No one can go directly to the center of the waterfall. You can only take a boat close to it from a safe distance. The whole area is strictly protected, especially near the rapids below. And these are some of the wildest places on Earth, where nature is in control and humans are only small visitors in a vast world. Wildness is not just beauty. It is a rare gift shaped by nature over millions of years, but also something very fragile and easily affected by humans. Some of these places look like they belong on another planet, beyond imagination. Yet they are fully part of Earth, the world we live in, breathe in, and explore every day. Among these places, which one felt the wildest to you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventures.